Yeah, this is Art.
Hi, this is Angel in Missoula, Montana.
Hey, Angel.
Art, we're so happy to hear that you're coming back through Montana, headed to Butte tomorrow night at the Butte Depot. Songs and Stories, an evening with Art Alexakis of Everclear. Tickets only $20, only about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive to get over there. And it's going to be a phenomenal show. I know this because I've seen Art many, many times. Now, tell us, what is the difference between the show that you're doing tomorrow night in Butte and like a typical Everclear show?
Well, the thing about, I call it Songs and Stories. I've done this for about a year and a half now, and it's been pretty popular. And I've done a lot of solo tours before, but I'm really concentrating on telling stories and talking and bringing out the songs and just talking about a lot of times the stories behind the songs and things that people might not know and things that people can relate to and maybe get a different perspective on the song. And these are songs that, with Everclear, Everclear's been my band for 20-some years, so people are like, when are you going to do a solo record? My albums kind of are like solo records. I do anything I want to do because it's my band.
Right.
But what this is, Songs and Stories, is telling stories. It's more it's more interactive between me and the audience because it's not so bombastic, and it just strips the song down to a guitar and a voice, and it's more storytelling. So the stories aren't always what I'm talking. Sometimes the stories are part of the songs. So that's a good song to me. I like storytelling. It goes deep into our DNA, and I love the idea of someone creating a 3-minute world within a story with music, and that connects. That's why I'm such a fan of writing songs. I taught at a small college in L.A. for 2 years, and it's something I feel really strong about and intend to do more of in the future of working with people and showing them what I know and how I go about it and helping them to figure out how they can do that, how they can tell stories with songs.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a perfect teacher for that. You're one of my favorite singer-songwriters of all time, and as a long time fan of Everclear, I know that many of your songs are autobiographical. And is that true on this new album, Black is the New Black?
Some are. On every album, some are. You'd be surprised. I mean, there's obvious ones. Father of Mine, definitely autobiographical.
Sure.
Santa Monica is one of those songs where I take things from my life, but I build other characters and use some artistic license. But, everyone's been in a place where as you get older, you move away from home and you're in a place where you don't feel grounded because you don't have that comfort zone, whether it's inside or outside. And Santa Monica, it was my comfort zone. That's where I grew up, with both good and bad.
Yeah.
But that's what I was familiar with. And it's funny because that song doesn't say Santa Monica once in the song.
No.
And when I named it that, the label's like, well, you can't call it Santa Monica because people won't know the song. Call it Watch the World Die. I go, no, it's called Santa Monica.
And that's where you get the parentheses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they did that, and I allowed them to do that. They did that later. It's not on the album like that, but for what they sent radio stations, they put in parentheses, Watch the World Die.
I did notice that, by the way. And with all of that said, you recently did a Sparkle and Fade 20th anniversary tour, and you played the album in its entirety, which was impressive and surprising to me just because I know that a lot of those songs on that album are emotional for you and you don't like to sing them on stage.
I don't, it's kind of like opening a nerve every time, in front of a bunch of people. Which isn't, that's not my favorite thing to do.
Right.
To be honest with you. But I do love performing. I do love singing. I do love connecting with people. And doing that tour was a lot of fun. A lot of work, because a lot of those songs, I hadn't played in years, or ever. There was a couple of songs on that record we'd never played live. They were studio songs, and we had to, relearn them, and it was a lot of fun, hard but fun. Work is hard sometimes, but if you enjoy your work, it's fun at the same time.
I would have loved to see a show on that tour. Would have loved it. It would have been my dream come true, but I didn't get to see it. So what kind of new music inspires you right now? Like what bands or artists are impressing you?
It's funny. I mean, I think it's very pop right now, the music that's coming out. It seems there's a lot of music that writers are paying attention to what other people, their peers are doing. They're not going back and learning to take from what other people have done in the past. There doesn't seem to be a lot of continuity. Case in point, when I was teaching songwriting, the first class of this songwriting class, I asked everybody who their favorite songwriters were, and these are all, I call them kids, but they're all in their 20s and late teens and early 20s, and they're kids.
Yes.
And they're naming all these people that are their contemporaries or that are on the radio now, and I'm like, well, what about influences like what you grew up with? And they look kind of blank, and I go, well, who's a big Stevie Wonder fan? And none of these 6 kids, not one of them, knew who Stevie Wonder was.
That's really too bad.
And you know what? I just said, I ended the class. I went to the head of the department. No, I'm the head of the department, but I went to the head of the school, the dean, said, I'm changing this class. This is going to be a history of song class. And I went back to the caveman days, and we worked our way. I wrote a new curriculum in 3 days, and didn't see my family for 3 days, just holed myself up in my studio and wrote a curriculum and reading material and everything, and basically went through the history of song to present day. And I still get emails from those kids that were in those classes that just were so thankful for them, because they learned about the Stevie Wonders and the James Browns and the Beatles and Tin Pan Alley, the Brill Building, and where American song came from, this polyglot of all these, these influences from Africa and Western Europe and even Asia and Latin America, and all these things that added to what we listen to now. And I would show them, I would take a contemporary hit and show them the different things where that came from.
Right. That
little musical trill, right? I'm sorry I'm going on about that, but I'm super excited and enthusiastic about how it's not just about music. It's studying song and learning about music and how everything has, through the years, has influenced everything. Is life. It's like history. It's where we are politically. It's where we are socially and technologically. Everything is a step to the next step. And it was great to see people realize that, go, oh my God, I get it now. I get why you're making me listen to these songs from the 1900s. I go, yeah, because that was the precursor to jazz, which is the precursor to swing, which was the precursor to R&B, which was the precursor to rock and roll, which was precursor to pop. And it's all these different things. And when I do these shows, it's not like you're going to come to a show and see, I don't have a PowerPoint. I'm not doing that. I'm actually kind of a smart aleck, and I talk a lot of smack, and it's pretty fun and it's interactive. People, I urge people to heckle me because it gives me a license to heckle them back. So
encouraging the heckling.
That's right. I am.
Yeah. That is a very important history that you were just talking about, and I bet those 6 kids now, when they hear Stevie Wonder samples in remixes, now they get it. They do. Not just Stevie Wonder, but the Beatles, and they really didn't know who Paul McCartney was. How can you not know the most prolific songwriter of the 20th century? Right.
Really?
Well, it's up to people like you and teachers and parents especially to teach their kids about this. So that is important.
I agree, 100%.
Art Alexakis of Everclear, he will be performing on Thursday at the Butte Depot. An evening with Art and his songs and stories. It should be an entertaining show, especially with all that heckling going on.
Yeah, well, please, bring your heckling. I dare you.
You can
I double dog dare you.
You can pick up tickets at our website, 963theblaze.com, and also at ticketfly.com. Latest album is Black is the New Black. You can pick that up now on iTunes. Art, thank you so much for talking with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Angel. Great talking to you.